We'll welcome you back, uSports Central. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Get through that week.
Yeah.
All these games are going to get you through that week, that's for sure. This is hoops at its best. You know, these games coming down to the wire, district play. You mentioned it, Charles. Once you get to district, these coaches know each other, and they're tighter games. They're closer. It's more exciting. The venues are packed. We saw that last night, Albuquerque High and Valley. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah, you love it because now it's more than just your players. The strategy has to take hold, who can make the proper adjustments or whatnot. And what I've always loved about Valley is they will always make the proper adjustments no matter who they're playing. Just like how Cleveland beat them by 30 the first time. The second time they play them, they squeak out a 5-point victory or whatnot. So expect this the entire district play from all the districts. I can see that going across the board, but especially in District 1 and District 5.
Well, now it's time for 3 and Out and a little friendly debate. And, of course, we've got to bring up Tuesday night hoops, a little recap for you. There was other districts that were in full swing. And how about the South District and Las Cruces with a win over their rival Mayfield? Cruces is now 3-0 in district play. They're 14-6.
Sitting pretty.
Mayfield is 7-12, 1-1. Let me ask you a question, Charles. Is Las Cruces flying under the radar, or have they not had any good quality wins and we're kind of putting them where they should be?
I think they're penalized.
They should probably be in the top 10.
Yeah, they should be in the top 10. I think they were penalized earlier on because the schedule wasn't as strong. But then when they did have a chance to prove themselves, they would lose to teams that were city metro teams. They'll lose to a metro team. Now, all that matters is win your district. They took care of a Mayfield team that was feeling a little bit more confident. They were 1-0. They had a couple victories. Cruces did their job. They'll be in the top 10.
It'll be, you can never count William Benjamin out. I think he proved that when they won the state championship as an 8 seed.
Yeah.
Was an 8 seed a few years back.
2 years ago.
Yeah, so you just can't count him out. I think he does a good job. What we talked about with Coleman is developing his team, and they get better as the season grows. So Las Cruces, you can't count out. They're going to win that district. I knew it.
I still have faith in Onyate. I think Onyate is going to still win.
You owe me an apology. You owe me an apology. You called me out.
It's 3 games into the season.
Obviously, Valley goes into Albuquerque High and wins this, but I want to stress how important it is that Valley went to Albuquerque High and win, Charles, because it was at Albuquerque High. And now they're 3-0 in district, 2 of them on the road. They haven't even played Rio Grande yet, who is considered the worst in the district. Just saying, they are, at least record-wise right now. Rio Grande's not playing the basketball they were playing at the beginning of the season. They've got the inside track to win this.
Definitely, 3-0, especially with a team so young. Get them some confidence moving forward. Now they believe in the system. They're going to play hard. You have the freshmen, both freshmen playing really well. You have Padilla being a leader for them. 3 wins right now. As you mentioned, now people have to go to Valley and get a win. And as we all know, that 93% winning percentage that you brought up takes place now with Albuquerque having to go there, West Mesa having to go there, and you mentioned they get Rio Grande twice. Not trying to knock Rio Grande, but if I'm Valley, I'm looking at my schedule saying that's 2 more wins.
I'm just saying, unless your Bulldogs could find a way to win this district, this could be disastrous for them seeding-wise. It really could be, because obviously they could not be then seeded higher than Valley, and Valley, they're still, because of their record and early losses, probably won't get the most amazing seeds. It could just be bad for Albuquerque. They've got to figure a way to get back in the front seat of this district.
It could be bad for them, but when you look at how the Max Prep ranking was taking place, Valley was already climbing that pole because of their strength of schedule.
Valley could still get a high seed, but Albuquerque's not going to get this. They're going to get that, maybe that 5 or something that you don't want for the second round.
You don't want that 5 to 10. You don't want that area. So the Bulldogs know how big this is, but hats off to Valley for just coming and playing hard. I love how they come out every night and give it 1,000%.
To Coach Salada's crew and the Rio Rancho Rams. The Rams go to Cibola, and after a bad loss against Volcano Vista, I shouldn't say bad loss. It's district play, and Volcano's well coached. Yeah. But talent-wise and the way Rio Rancho's played throughout the season, ranked number 4 in the state, at least in Max Preps, they should have beat Volcano. Volcano, though, now after that big win, they slip up and lose to Cleveland. And I wouldn't say that's a slip-up because Cleveland's ranked number 2, but Volcano's going to have to start finding wins or they're going to find themselves with a terrible seed come state tournament
time.
Now
you have Rio Rancho sitting there thinking, we really squandered a good opportunity to beat Volcano. We sit in a good position to play Cleveland and really make a mark for themselves as far as seeding and selection or whatnot. All that is done. Your record is what it is right now. I still think Volcano is going to give people fits because for some reason they keep figuring out the recipe to keep games close or either win them. Cleveland, they need to get some things together. You mentioned they haven't looked as impressive to you as of late, but I still think just because it's district play, The games will be closer, and this is where the true players will shine.
Rio Rancho is going to take on Cibola, and we're going to have that for you here on uSports Network and ProVNetworks.com on Thursday night. The game has been switched over from Friday to Thursday night, so mark that down. We'll also re-air it here on the uSports Network on Friday night. But I'll tell you what, that's another monster game. They continue to get big. This is a rematch of the APS Metro Championship. Cibola now 1-1 in district play after their loss to Rio Rancho. They might need to get a bounce back. You got to like where Rio Rancho's sitting, though, because they're 2-1 and they're second place in the district with the chance then when they go on February 3rd to play at Cleveland, which is going to be an atmosphere that you want to be a part of.
You know they're secretly rooting for Cibola to beat Cleveland and give them that opportunity.
I don't think so. I bet Coach Salado wants to be the one to take them down on their home court.
You want Cibola to beat Cleveland, so then when you play Cleveland, you beat them. Now you're one whole game ahead of them. You want this. You are cheering for other teams to take down those undefeateds.
I think it's the three-team race, and I think that blemish that Rio Rancho had against Volcano Vista was matched last night with the win that they had at Cibola. So a good job, again, by Coach Salado's crew. Let's move on here, and we'll keep it Tuesday night hoops recap, Charles, because there's more to talk about. Other districts here on 3 and Out. So moving along, look, I mean, everybody knows that Carlsbad is legitimate, right? I mean, everybody knows Hobbs is legitimate. The rest of their district, not so much, and that's just being generous. Carlsbad goes and beats Alamogordo, no problem, on the road, right?
66-38,
Hobbs
easy.
then goes and beats Clovis, who's having a very down year,
88,
no
57.
problem. That's what sets up the matchup, though, that we need to talk about. Friday night, Tasker Arena in Hobbs. Carlsbad's going to make the travel, and it is a monster matchup. It's a more monster matchup for Hobbs because if Hobbs lose at home against Carlsbad, it gives them the upper hand, and then maybe a top seed will start to disappear for Hobbs. Same situation as Albuquerque High.
No, I agree. The problem with being 19-1 or 18-1 and people, your schedule's not as strong as some of those teams that have 4 losses or 5 losses, is you don't have much room for error. So Carlsbad goes and they beat a Hobbs team, Hobbs is going to drop. Because people are going to say, see, we told you, first time they play some competition, they lose. So big game for Hobbs to win this, hold home court, and then hopefully set up a potential matchup with Carlsbad, going to Carlsbad. And we know both teams are going to beat the rest of the teams in the district, and they'll play a third time in district tournament.
Quickly, West Mesa loses to St. Pius. Where are they right now?
I picked Pius just so you know. Remember that?
Yeah, I know you did.
West Mesa's just trying to find themselves. You have 4 really talented guards. They just got to get it together. But there's no time for getting this together because district play, they play tomorrow, matter of fact. So with a Trisco, who has a chance to get back in second.
District 2 is on tonight here on uSports Network. We'll break down the matchups when you return. uSports Central.